Hi guys, how's it? Welcome Trek Amal to all my Afrikaans speaking followers. 49-18, the final from Marseille, France. I did not go live for this one as I know it was like a 9 p.m. kickoff for a lot of you guys in South Africa. So a lot of you probably won't watch this tonight. You'll probably be watching this tomorrow morning as the game is finished up here. Man of the match, Dion 40. We'll kind of get to that later, but let's go ahead and talk about the news and notes from this game, kind of a breakdown, and what do we need to do moving forward here. 49-18, like I said, man, the game starts out, Tonga kicks us. Marvin Ori misses. Like, you watch the replay, he actually brings his hands down like he meant to miss, and it goes into touch. A line out to Tonga, and then Esterhazen gets a penalty for offside, and Havili actually kicks and misses. They go up a minute into this game 3-0. Not how I imagined the game to start out. 3 minutes later, a penalty deep in the Tongan end, and Kobus Reinach does a quick little tap and runs it off to the right side, and we get our first chance to see the General of Loftus, the boot of the mighty Andre Pollard. And I mean, yeah, he threads it like a needle. 4 minutes later, we do get the first scrum to Tonga, and we do hold up well with Dion 40 starting at hooker, and he does seem to hold it up his own. I have to comment on Ben Tomoafina, the captain for the Ikalitahi, the mighty Sea Eagle of Tonga. He makes Oxen Che look like he's on a diet. That is a big, big boy. Big boy. Minute later, a not rolling away penalty by the Boks, and the Tongans elect to kick to touch, and now we spend like a good 20 minutes on defense. The Tongans attacking. And eventually, at the 19th minute, we finally get a breath of fresh air. Kanan Moody gets, we're on advantage after a ricochet off of Kalk's shoulder. He gets it, runs it in, and it is 14-3. Pollard is just absolutely looking beautiful with the boot so far. 26th minute, a line out leads to absolutely nothing. The mall collapses, and it's like, we're not pushing it through with these guys. This isn't Romania. This isn't Scotland. This isn't anybody. These Tongan boys are big, and they are hard to move. 29th minute, Krill gets one in from Krill comes in for Makazole Mampipi. He goes in for HIA. He is later cleared. But then Tonga starts getting in lots of penalty trouble. We're talking like 5-6 penalties in a row. Dion Footy gets one in off the line out. He goes across, and Pollard threads it once again. 3-3 kicking on the day. It's 21-3 at the 31st minute. And who did I bring up earlier for the Tongans? Their captain, Tomoafina, the big boy. I mean, he is... Like I said, he made Oxen Che look like he was on a diet. Like, big boy coming in on the line. I saw it. Like, I telegraphed it. I saw as soon as he was to the left, I'm like, they're going to hand it to him. And to stop him, you needed 3 bodies easily. Like, Malcolm Marks would struggle to stop him. Anybody would struggle to stop him. He's like one of those guys that you need 2 or 3 bodies on at all times. Because if it's only a meter and he has the ball, he's making that meter just with body weight alone. He does cross. Havili, that's their first try of the day. Havili kicks, and I mean, he's not even close. And we go into half, 21-8. 48th minute, multiple phases. Jesse Creel crosses to the right. We go up 28-8 after Pollard threads another kick through. 50 minutes of Andre Pollard, and yeah. His kicking was crisp. His kicking to forward with the ball, absolutely crisp. Great tackling, and it was just like, okay, it was good to have Andre back out there. Not going to lie. Libok does come in at the 50th minute, and I'm kind of wondering, okay, what are we going to see now that Libok has entered the game? 3 minutes after Libok comes into the game, I mean, multiple phases for the Tongans, and Fina Anisi, their number 14, their right winger, he crosses to the right. I mean, it was a hard-earned try, and Havili does kick off to the right once again. And they aren't Romania. We'll just leave it at that. 57th minute, Willie LaRue finally out wide from Moody, goes across, makes it 28-13, and Libok is 1 of 1 on kicking for the day. And the same type of kicks that Pollard was threading, Libok threaded as well. And it made me get to thinking, like, is this what we got to do? Run a 6-2 split with Libok coming off the bench for Pollard, because he seems to kick so much better late in games. But we're not done. Escom comes in at the 59th, 60th minute. And Dion Footy stays in. He moves to flanker. Escom, his very first scrum as a hooker, leads to a scrum penalty on the Springboks. Not the best way to start out that. But 2 minutes later, he makes up for it. Escom with the try off a deep, moody run started by Claudia Smith. I mean, my boy Pierre, he said it. I'll repeat it. I mean, obviously, arguably our best flanker, and he comes off the bench. Yeah, Quagga can move. That's them sevens abilities, man. He can run, and I enjoy a good Quagga Smith run. We all enjoy it when we get to see it. But Libok threads the needle once again. We go 42-13, and it's about the 68th, 69th minute where I feel like everybody's thinking about the post-game braai, having a few beers after the game. And Pellegrini, he is an Australian-born Tongan. He gets in after a mishandle from Grant Williams. Like we were trying to get, Libok tried to get something going. They kick deep. Libok gets it and carries it in kind of like Damien Valemsa does. And it's something I love about Manny Libok. And they try to do a little bit of trickery offloading, and Grant Williams offloads it to Pellegrini instead of a player. And he runs the distance and runs it across. He does become the kicker at this point because Havili was struggling. And he misses off to the left. And our defense just falls friggin' flat in the last 10 minutes. It was all Tonga. Eventually, after the 80th minute has expired, maybe 25 seconds later, Quagga Smith, after multiple phases, and crosses under the post. And, of course, Libok clears the post because it's right in front. He does 3 of 3 kicking. Pollard was 4 of 4. And we get a final score of 49-18 on the day. We needed to win by 36 points, folks. Yeah. Did not. So let's talk about the first thing, obviously. How did Andre Pollard look? How did you guys think he looked? I thought he looked amazing. His kicking was crisp. His offloading, his tackling, like, you missed it. Like, I didn't think we were missing anything, and then he comes back and you realize, damn, I've missed him. The skill sets are there. He is a veteran. The skill sets are there. He's still got it. Andre has still got it. And baptism by fire for coming back against these Tongan boys, because this was not an easy game. Despite the scoreline, Tonga was a very, very capable opponent. They, in my opinion, they will beat Romania with ease. Yeah, with ease. You guys heard my pregame video. I have nothing but respect for the Ikalitahi. Like, those guys earned my respect in 07, and I've had it for them ever since. They've had some bad Rugby World Cups. They've had some good ones. Will this be a bad one? Yeah, with a 1 win, definitely. But those guys can play. Those guys can play. I guarantee you they got invited to the post-game braai, and everybody's iced up. And I'm thankful that we have 2 weeks off, because there are probably some serious bruises underneath those jerseys. This was not an easy win whatsoever. But it was a very entertaining game. This wasn't New Zealand versus Italy or us versus It was a very, very entertaining game because they made us play. Now, that last 10 minutes where our defense completely fell to shit is unacceptable. We only allowed 13 points to the number one team in the world, and you're telling me we gave up 18 to these guys? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I mean, we got the victory. That's all that matters at the end of the day. But was it a pretty game? There were parts of it that were absolutely beautiful, and there were parts of it that were downright ugly the last 10 minutes. Dion Forty getting man of the match. I had commented, as a hooker, he was okay. He wasn't great. He was okay. He was good at times. At 36, 37 years old, playing a full 80 minutes, I tip my hat to him. This is his only opportunity, and I think he's seizing every moment with both hands as well as he can. Now, with Marco van Staden, how did he look? I feel like because we didn't get nearly as much scrummaging with him, it was kind of really hard to tell. That Tongan, that starting 15 Tongan scrum, I would put them against anybody. They are beasts at scrum time. Like, they're one of those teams. Like, there's teams that don't want to scrummage us because they know what they're getting into. Tonga's probably that team that, do you want to kick or scrum? And, oh, yeah, we'll take a scrum. Like, they don't care. They're big boys. They can handle it. They were laying big hits all game. We looked rattled at times, definitely. Bit of controversy, and I'm pretty sure it'll get brought up. There was a little bit of an argument, a possible yellow card on Ibn Etzebeth, where their player fell into his shoulder. It wasn't a shoulder charge. He was coming down with the ball and landed on it, and it was kind of like, look, Owen Farrell tackles with his shoulder. This guy fell in to Eben's shoulder. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. An incident earlier in the game where you had this was when Makazole Mapipi went out for the HIA. A little bit of head contact. It was incidental. Everybody was fine. Obviously, Makazole got the clear, and they never brought him back into the game, but he looked fine. He looked like he probably had a headache afterwards. But should we have won this by a greater margin? Of course. That last 10 minutes where our defense fell to crap was unacceptable. We needed to play a solid 80 minutes, and I don't think we did. Now we have to sit back and we have to watch Scotland and Ireland. Now, this is where things get interesting, because if Scotland beats Ireland, we are probably out. Possibly. I don't see it happening. I see Ireland beating Scotland with ease and us going into the quarterfinal. That's just what I see. But we definitely are going to need this week off after the bruising we just took. That was a battle game. And you'll love to see it. You'll love to see it when the Pacific Islands and the little guy, when they rock up. I mean, even Bucky Sputa said it. Everybody likes to see the little guy, win, or at least give it their all, because you get their respect. And I think, I've made a lot of comments about Tier 2 nations being cream puff sides. You notice I never said those words against Tonga, because they are not a cream puff side by any means. They're an underfunded side. There's a difference. Namibia, probably a cream puff side. Tonga is underfunded. They are not the same. It's not the same thing. But I think with Moana Pacifica, it is helping their program. And we've seen Fiji make the quarterfinal multiple times. We've seen Samoa make it once. I think it's high time for Tonga to join the club. And I think they could. The next 4 years, we'll see what it brings for them. But they also have I think they are the smallest nation that competes in the Rugby World Cup population-wise. And they are solid. I would take Ben Tomafina, that starting prop for them. I would take him on the Springboks. Now, he'd probably have to hit the bike a little bit just to kind of slim up a little bit, but damn, he is a big boy that can move the ball. All of them were great. I didn't see anybody that was particularly horrible on their side. Havili probably not so much, but he was serviceable. So I tip my hat to the Tongans. You're not a cream puff side. You are a very worthy and tough opponent. And I do chastise us falling apart defensively for the last 10 minutes of the game. We needed to put in 80 total minutes. We got the victory, but it could have been a lot prettier than it was, but it also could have been a lot uglier than it was too. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments, man. Do you think I'm being fair? They picked Dion Foudy. I'm going to pick my man of the match as... I want to say Andre just because he looks so awesome, but man, I'm going to agree with Dion putting in an 80-minute shift at the age he is, playing hooker and then flanker. Yeah, you did a great job, bud. But Quagga Smith also looked damn good once he came in too. You let me know what you think. We got a week off. I'm definitely going to do a video in the weekend off, kind of talking about looking forward and what do I think we need to do to make it past the quarterfinal, semi-final, final. But you guys in South Africa, you're probably already asleep. Hope you sleep well. Hope Monday goes well for you. It's a Monday after a Springbok victory. Those are always great Mondays, and I will talk to you guys again very soon. Cheers, guys.